Good morning, everyone. We are at the start of day 3 of the Great Mountain, and we will be kicking things off with a tribal council after a evening challenge yesterday. For those of you wondering where the recap show is, we will be doing it a little later this morning. And let's check out the players coming into tribal council. We've got Ned, Rayhan, Kendall, Keanu, Aviva, and Andy. Everybody filing into the tribal council area to kick off our day.
Good morning, friends. How are you?
Good morning.
All right. So, Ned, talk to me about last night. I mean, you have the challenge, you're sent back to camp, told that you're going to have tribal in the morning. Do you get much sleep? I mean, do you start strategizing immediately? How does that go?
I was talking to Michael. I found a little moss pillow.
Okay.
And I put my fake sort of sleeping bag with all my clothes in it, and it was great. I had a nice sleep.
Okay, so it's not chaotic. I mean, Keanu, when you guys go back to camp, I mean, it's sleep time. It's not strategy until the morning, or was it like an agreement? Or some people were strategizing. Tell me how it goes.
I agree that I was probably the first one to sleep. I don't know if it's lack of sleep, but I was the first one to sleep.
Okay. Were you worried that people were up strategizing while you were asleep?
Possibly, but I feel like in order to get through a challenge, you need sleep.
Yeah.
So, I had to sleep.
Okay. Rayhan, so obviously you are the Outcast tribe. Two sets of 3 of you were exiled, brought back as a separate tribe. I mean, is there any sense for why you were exiled? Are you bitter about the person that made that decision at all, or have you kind of gotten over it?
It's definitely like a forgive but don't forget kind of thing. I think we kind of know why all of us were exiled and what the reasoning behind it was, and we're just keeping that in mind going forward to any future tribals or challenges, or if there's a merge going through that, we're gonna have to keep that in mind. But right now we're kind of worried about just making it through this tribe.
So does that help you bond as a group here to potentially go together as a group? I mean, are you talking about, hey, after this vote we're a 5?
Yeah, I think that's a lot of the consensus that we're now a new tribe. They've exiled us, well that's their problem now. So we're coming together, I think, really well.
Okay. Aviva, I will do my quick math here, and I don't know how much these lines are still there at all, but I believe we have 3 original green, 2 original gray, and yourself is the only original Rollins. I mean, is that something that stood out last night as you were doing your strategy discussions?
Well, strategy was this morning.
Okay.
But no, I don't think that particularly. I think it came into play more as we're trying to kind of suss out people's potential connections elsewhere in whatever the next stage is going to be, more so than how this group is going to vote. I think this was a lot of people kind of finally getting to know people who they hadn't gotten to know yet, and figuring out what makes the most sense for them now. So if you look at it another way, you could go by the original height groups, and there's 3 people who were on mental, 2 on physical, 1 on social, and so that's a different breakdown of it. But I think there's been... Sorry about that. You throw me a mouth problem, I engage. But I think it... Yep. But I think there's been enough different ways of interacting with each other that I think it's much more based on individual connection than on colors that we've been wearing.
Okay. And so, Andy, I mean, how do you go about gauging individual connection? I mean, that's really difficult. You haven't voted together as a group with many of these folks. I mean, you have to figure out how to pull a group together. What are you looking for in an alliance member?
I haven't been shy about... Oh, hello! I have not been shy about wanting we players, people who are going to have each other's backs, people who are going to support one another, report when you hear your name being thrown out there, me players are very dangerous in that they are always looking out for themselves, and you can never quite trust what they tell you. But that is paired with the fact that this game is been very hard. This whole idea of we won't forget, but we'll forgive. Fuck that. I have been picked last or close to last, left and right. I have no home. I have no sanctuary. I came into this group and hoping to find people, you know, made some overtures and, you know, mixed success. It is a hard game to navigate when you're meeting people for the first time pretty deep into the game and trying to find individuals which then can become a 3, which can become a 4, and then become a force. And there are people out there who are very dangerous that I know a lot about what's going on and what they're doing, but I'm away from it. But I can be useful and helpful and be an asset in helping shape an end game if people want to use them. But so far, people haven't wanted to use that.
Do you feel like things are a little bit different with this group? Do you feel like the tides are shifting in that way at all?
Every time I've had my hopes up, because I want to say desperately yes, but I've said yes multiple times now. And, you know, not to use a cheesy comparison, but Lucy keeps pulling back the motherfucking football. I'm trying to kick it, and it's not happening. This vote maybe will show the trust that maybe, finally, I have a home.
Okay. I'll poke you one more time here. You said we and me players. Are you interested in sharing who you think might be the me players out of this group? Ned. All right, let's speak on it. Why do you think you're being classified as a me player?
I'm not 100% sure because I've played a really loyal league game with people here. Like I've made crystal clear who I'm with. I voted with them. I've proved that. But I think a lot of it comes down to like dynamics of how the pick went yesterday. There was Dion, and then Dion picked me, and I picked Danny, and Danny picked Isaiah, and I think Andy, I think fairly, thinks that like, wow, that could be like a group that's really scary. I know,
That was exactly right.
I know, I was there. Yeah, and so, look, I don't hold animosity to Andy for thinking that. I actually would love to be a part of Andy's we, but I don't blame him for right in this moment thinking of me as a me player. I'll have to prove it with my vote.
Okay. Kendall, if Ned is the me, what's the alternative vote here? There has to be another side of it. I mean, is Ned pitching another name out there?
I believe so. I don't know if I can share it.
Okay. All right.
I've heard my name.
You've heard your name. Okay. I guess if those are potentially the two names going around, I mean, we heard Ned's eloquent argument, maybe why, he might not be a me player. I mean, what is your argument to the tribe, Aviva?
Yeah, I mean, I think all of us have some argument of being on the bottom of at least somebody's opinion by being here in this Outcast tribe at all. I think in the individual conversations I've had with people when I've broken down the people I know on the other tribes, none of those are people who I would be in a power position with. There are maybe people who would share some information with me, but I don't have an alternative that is like a strong force to be reckoned with. And I hope to be finding that in this group and to be bringing the skills that I have to bring this group forward in that kind of capacity.
Okay. I feel like you have all had a lot of time this morning to have your little discussions and make your chats, so I don't think anything's going to change at this tribal council. Does anyone have anything they want to say? I see it's a small amount of whispering still, but anything that they want to say before we get to the vote? All right, let's do it. I'm excited to find out. We'll start with you, Andy.
All right, and with that, we are going to head out of the tribal council area. As the players just go ahead and silently vote, we're just gonna make ourselves at home at their little camp, and we'll have our little chat down here today. kind of hoping that I can get a chance to maybe sit in the teepee or on the bench that they've created, so that we can talk. So that was a lot at Tribal Council, and I have even more to tell y'all that makes it even more chaotic than it already just was. So I'm getting excited. I'm super excited to share with you all. I just have to make it all the way down this little hill. Okay. All right, we are almost there. As a friendly reminder, this is y'all's time to ask questions as I fill you guys in on everything that I have learned. Okay, so here we are at Exile Camp. Check it out, check it out. I think I will have the best success, maybe not here, even though that's very cute, but right here on this little bench. So let's have a sit, and I will let you know what I know. So let's start with kind of Andy, because Andy was talking a lot about looking for a we and not a me. So Andy has definitely let it be known that he is looking for allies. He is looking for people to work with in, you know, an actual alliance rather than just kind of like voting blocks or just kind of like, oh, whatever, whichever way the wind blows or whatever I feel like doing. He's looking for, you know, a group that can actually move forward in the game together. And he's shared that he's not sure that at this stage he can win, but that he's eager to try and find a group that and like help get them as far as he possibly can. Which I disagree with him, because he's made some really interesting decisions that I think will serve him well. So for those of you that missed last night, Andy found a clue to an idol. And at the very beginning of last night's challenge, he shared that clue with Aviva. And so Aviva ended up finding the clue to the clue, or the clue from the clue, sorry, confusing. Basically found the second clue, and that clue led to a hidden immunity idol. So Aviva ended up giving that clue to Andy. I am not sure if she read it first before giving it to Andy, but then I am told that Andy went digging around in the woods this morning and found the idol. So Andy has an idol in his pocket, and Andy, in his quest for, you know, forming an alliance and starting to solidify these strong bonds, actually approached Kendall for a final two and told her about the idol to solidify that. So that is a very exciting pairing, and I will be excited to see kind of, you know, how they're able to maneuver this game together. So I'm super excited about that. Let's see. So that is Andy. We have Kendall, Ned, and Rayhan that are like coming over from New Tyrem, and they seem to be like fairly solid together. Ned is one of the names that has been thrown out there, and he talked a lot about you know, wanting to prove that he's not a meat player, that he's a we player, that he is also looking for an alliance. However, our chaotic king has claimed that he will definitely be vote banking at this tribal council and not voting, and that he may or may not use his idol, because he still has an idol from morning 2 of the game. So I don't know if he's going to take the opportunity to, you know, prove to a certain group that he's with them, or if he's just going to continue to me play. And, you know, I don't know. I don't know what's best for him, and I don't know what he's going to choose, but I'm excited to find out. Let's see. We have, Ned also went to sleep last night with the vote on someone else, and then woke up and it had landed on him. So he was doing a lot of scrambling. He was very concerned. The Another name that's out there to potentially be a vote is Aviva. She's the only lone Rollins player, or new Rollins player on this tribe. And she apparently, players are very worried about her social connections on other tribes because they know that she's been forming like really solid connections with people, gelled really well with the mental group, gelled really well with original Rollins, and so they're concerned that she has other connections out there that she would be, wanting to jump back to once maybe this exile tribe is not a tribe anymore. So I think they're a little concerned about loyalty from Aviva. And I hear that they also kind of caught her in a lie because apparently she was claiming to not have had like any like Survivor live game experience, but she has played 2 games already. So I think people are a little wary of that and worried that like, well, if she's lying about that, is she lying about other stuff? So she's definitely someone everyone is keeping their eye on. I think, let's see. Also, so last night, Andy and Keanu were, okay, I'm being summoned. Okay, Andy and Keanu were like voted last in the ranking, and so they're very fired up about it, and they're very upset, and they're like really kind of, a fire is being lit, and I know Ned is like dying to stay in the game. He doesn't want to be voted out, specifically because he wants to find out from Danny why he got the ranking that he got. So he's like very curious and wants to know. So, all right, let's head on back up and let's see what happens. I'm very excited to find out. Fun start to the morning for us, not so much for the players. Okay, back we hike to the tribal council area. Looks like all the players have cast their votes, or not. And the rain is starting to come down. Exile tribe just waiting now. Everyone has had a visit to the voting booth, but has everyone cast a vote? Cam now heading back towards the tribal council area with the votes in hand.
If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play one, now would be the time to do so.
Interesting thing having this hidden immunity idol. I came into this game really not wanting to get one. And I know there are votes coming my way, so I have a really tough decision about whether to play it or not. On the one hand, if I do play it, I can go back and try again. On the other hand, I could just not play it, test my loyalties, and have a clear path forward. So I think I'm going to say that if it's not really a blindside, if you know that it could probably be coming. And so I'm going to choose not to play this in this moment.
Anyone else have anything to share? Yeah, Andy?
I don't need to make any big ass speeches. For me, I'm not going home.
All right.
Let's go.
This is a hidden immunity idol. Any votes cast for Andy will not count. Any final announcements before I get going? No? All right. I'll get to the vote. First vote. Andy. Does not count. Second vote. Aviva. Third vote. Rayhan. Fourth vote. Aviva. That's 2. Fifth and final vote. Aviva. That's 3. That's enough. Aviva?
All right, and with that, we will follow Aviva out of the Tribal Council area. We're gonna still be on live stream, and once we get far enough away, we'll just catch up with her and get some thoughts from her. So Aviva, we're just gonna head up the hill a little bit, and then it'll be your time to just kind of share some thoughts with us. All right, maybe you can hang out right here. This is your time. Anything you want to share, anything you want to say?
I'm disappointed. I helped Andy get that idol, and I had a gut feeling it was me rather than him, and wish that had been played on me. But that's okay. It's a game. It's the second time in like 3 weeks that I have been voted out of a tribe of 6 that I have felt I do not belong in. So I'm feeling emotionally vulnerable about that for sure. I think it also, like, it's a game, and I totally get that. And people are playing hard, and I respect that. I think you're probably going to then finally ask about charity, but today's the 1-year anniversary of my brother-in-law passing away from taking a counterfeit pill, which is what I was competing for in this game. An organization called FinCheck that provides fentanyl test strips to help people avoid that, and I think that's all day was obviously going to be emotional for that, and like greater than not chance that today would be the day, but still, first thing in the morning, it happened. The first thing that happens is really tough.
May I give you a hug really quick? Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I know every cause is very personal, but to have this be the day just has to be so difficult. You know, hopefully now that you're out of the game, you'll get the opportunity to reach out to your loved ones and just kind of take comfort and solace with them as well. I'd love to hear on hopefully maybe a lighter note. I mean, you did make it to day 3. You have so much to be proud of. You know, I can say because you're pre-jury, everyone was very worried about all of the solid connections that you'd made in other places. And so, you know, I know you talked about not fitting in, but everyone was very worried that you fit in way too well in a lot of places. So a ton to be proud of about your game. I'd love to hear maybe a moment that you're most proud of about yourself out here.
I struggle to sort of pick individual moments in general. It's not really a moment, but I think night 1, the conversation that the original Wellness Tribe had around the fire, where we kind of went around and topic by topic shared a lot, and I felt really generally overall like that was just a really wonderful group of people sharing really wonderful things. Was definitely a good memory for me, and it was a moment of connection that I haven't always gotten in these games. In the last one that I played, my tribe's campfire night was a really stressful thing for me. It was not a positive experience, and so getting to at least come and do this and feel like I was part of that campfire night was really meaningful for me.
I'm so glad to hear that. And before I let you go, these games can teach you a lot about yourself. Is there anything maybe that struck you as something you've learned about yourself out here?
It's hard to suss out specifically out here, but I do think that any of these help you learn how you are perceived by others, and I think help you learn how what you say may not come across the way that you intended, and giving you that moment to reflect and realize, oh, sometimes I say things that are not intended that way, and that's how they feel to people is a good moment of growth for many of these.
Absolutely. Well, Aviva, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming out here, and congratulations on making it all the way to day 3. You take good care. We're going to hand you off to our handler so that you can go ahead and get showered and changed and take some time for yourself, and we will see you later on. All right, and with that, the first vote out of the day is done. These players, of course, are out here for such deeply personal reasons, and it's so special that they get to share that with all of us and with each other. And a super hard day for Aviva, but she's handling it with such grace, and so impressed with her. For logistical purposes, just want to let you guys know we're going to be doing an immunity challenge next. And then while the players strategize after that immunity challenge, that's when we'll come back and do a recap show in case y'all have missed some day 2 stuff and want a little bit of context going into this insane day 3. So we'll catch you back here in a little bit. I think we're already set up on the challenge, so we should be getting underway pretty shortly. See you soon.